Joy's story. Assisted return. Joy had been in Libya for 2 years after being deceived by her cousin that she was going to Europe. He told her she was going to Europe to work as a cleaner, that she could make her dreams come true by earning good, decent money. Unknown to her, she had been sold by her cousin to a madame, a trafficker, who forced her into prostitution and tortured her, beat her up, did all sorts of unspeakable things just to ensure her compliance. Her madame regularly reminded her and the other girls in the brothel that they could only leave after paying off their debts of 4 million naira. That's almost 2,600 euros, which the madame claimed was the cost of traveling abroad. She said that once their debts were paid, they could travel to Europe and live their lives. But until then, they must service clients and do whatever the client wants sexually. Joy had a small book where she recorded all the sexual acts she performed and how much they cost. The clients paid the madame directly, so she had to do this every day to know exactly how much of her debt she had paid and how much was left. From her calculations, she still had to do this for another year and didn't even know how she would survive it. One day, a client came in, raped her without a condom while she was on her period, and left Joy badly injured. Even worse, he refused to pay, saying that she made him work for it. The madame was furious at Joy and said that since the client refused to pay because she didn't cooperate, then her debt had increased. That night, when another client came, Joy was crying, sobbing, begging for help, asking him to support her. He listened to her and agreed to help. He came back a few days later and asked her madame how much the rest of her debt was. He said he wanted to pay off her debts and marry her. Joy was relieved. He came back a few days later, paid the money, took her to his house, and it seemed like all was going well, until it wasn't. Once they were there, he beat her regularly, forced her to have sex with other men, and then took the money. She was locked in a room where there was no escape, and she had to see men day in, day out, night in, night out. She had no rest. During that time, Joy got pregnant, but he continued to force her to take on clients. He also continued to beat her up, even though she was pregnant. One day, he went out and forgot to lock the door properly. Joy found her escape route. She jumped, ran to the door, and took off. She ran to a shop close by, where she found a taxi, and the taxi took her to the Nigerian embassy in Tripoli. There, she was connected with IOM, hosted at their pre-return camp for 2 months, and returned to Nigeria through their voluntary humanitarian return and reintegration program. When she arrived in Nigeria, she hid at her cousin's house for a month. She was ashamed of going home or seeing other family members. But eventually she called her mother, and her mother was so thankful that her daughter returned home alive. She embraced her and loved her daughter. IOM supported Joy to receive business training. They even helped her set up a small hair salon. She also received assistance from GIZ in buying goods for her business, and she's doing okay. She's settling back in, but some days she feels like she's losing her mind. She wants to go back to Libya in the hopes that she will be killed along the way. She hears all these voices in her head. And sometimes she feels like she sees a demon on her child's face. When she sees that demon, she wants to kill it, so she'll grab whatever is close by. Then she calms down, realizes what is going on, and with the help of her mother, she comes back to reality. Without her mother and her mother's support, she says that she would never have survived. Joy's story shows that IOM's voluntary humanitarian return can be successful in providing return and reintegration assistance. Successful collaboration between the Nigerian embassy and IOM led to support for Joy to have emergency shelter, voluntary humanitarian return, and the support she received was life-saving. However, despite the support she received, including a welcoming family and a relatively successful business, the post-traumatic stress can still be crippling. Joy is in stark need of continued mental health support.